some of the priorities that I think it's worthwhile us having a chat with everyone about are, firstly, generating a sustainable future.
Yeah.
So what does that mean, generating a sustainable future? What does that look
generating
like?
a sustainable future is not about the amount of money you have, but the capacity for creation that you have. If every business looked for what they could create, and every person looked at what they could create.
That is different just in itself, just that bit.
Yeah. And you've got to have faith in yourself that you have the ability to create. It's like, one of the things you got to realize, have you ever really failed? Yes. The only thing you've ever failed in is the things you didn't want to do. Because you will always fail at what you don't want to do.
So what does sustainable future really mean? Because most people think sustainable is, let's just keep it so that we don't go into the pit of despair.
Yeah,
what
sustainable is about not losing, rather than about creating. And what most people have the point of view is, they have the point of view is sustainable means I don't lose anything. My point of view is sustainable is about what can you create that you haven't chosen yet? What if you were creating and didn't recognize what you were creating, whether it's through money or through relationships or through business? You have a capacity. Most of us don't recognize the fact that we have capacities that will sustain us to create a greater future.
So it's about the cultivate the creative and generative capacity to be able to generate sustainable future.
It's like generative is really the energy of what you see as possible to create that other people may not see. And most of the time, other people don't see what you see. And so that's the recognition of an energy that you know could come into actualization. Creation is bringing it into actualization. You gotta look at everything in your life as to what energy, space, and consciousness can you be, because the energy is the first thing you see. Space is the place from which you bring into actualization that which you see as an energy. And creation is doing whatever it takes to make it occur. That's the reason you have to never give up, never give in, and never quit. Because you have to realize, okay, I see an energy that other people don't see. When I started my business, other people didn't see what I was talking about. They went, what? What'd you say? What are you talking about? I don't get this. Okay, good. I did. I saw the energy of what could be created by people changing their point of view. What point of view that if you changed it would create everything you desire in your life? What point of view would you have to create?
That's the question that every senior executive team in the world should be asking right now. Even if you are your own senior executive team. Because it's those changing of the points of view that are going to create a different potential, a different possibility.
Yeah, and the one thing that's true, if you have a point of view about anything, which is, your point of view is usually a judgment. If you have a judgment or a point of view about anything that does not match your point of view or your judgment cannot come into your awareness. So you will only find those things that match your point of view. You've got to have no point of view. You've got to have the place where you're willing to see a different possibility that other people can't see.
So the first priority that we've had a brief chat about is the generating a sustainable future.
Yes.
The next one that I want to get you to explore a bit more is the doing no damage.
Doing no damage.
Sustainable future and doing no damage. What does that mean?
Well, the thing is, what you want to do is look at, it's like a whole lot of corporations do damage to the environment. So then they go out and buy rainforests and stuff to try and prove that they're making up for the damages they've done. What if you did no damage? What if you looked at, how can I create my business so it doesn't damage the world, but so it creates a greater possibility, a different possibility? If you're willing to have the different possibility, a different reality can show up. And you've got to look at that from the point of view of, what am I doing that's creating more in the world? For me, people are always trying to save the planet. Well, it's like there was a study years ago that said, it's like if you yell at a plant, it will die. If you play nice music for the plant, it will live. And there was another study that I read later that said if you laugh with a plant, it will become vibrant. What if we did more laughter for the planet than unhappiness?
When we bring up this notion of do no damage, people immediately think, oh, we need to be better at recycling, or we need to not dig things out of. What Gary just said is just turn that on its head and say, well, what if the greatest damage we were doing to the planet was the unhappiness that we are the creators of? What would need to change for that to change?
Because if you start to get how you being different and making different choices affects the rest of the world, your life will expand when you make choices that expand the world and the possibilities. It's a whole different way of looking at life and looking at what you choose.
For those of you who are watching this or listening to this now and into the future, anything where you think that's the way business has to be though, then if you're willing to change your point of view about that, you'll realise there are infinite ways of creating that change that you want that does no damage. So damn it, get to work and figure out what those other ways are.
Well, it's like the thing is, capitalism has been defined as consumption when it actually is not. It's creation. It's creating more of what is possible, and that's what real capitalism is. Consumption is what everybody has decided capitalism is, which is the total lie of it. So when you function from the point of view of creating more, it's not about how much you get to consume, it's about how you get to create a greater possibility. What's actually possible that you haven't chosen? What's actually possible that you haven't perceived, known, be or received? You know, you got to be willing to see all those things. You know, it's like people are, all the time doing their capitalistic point of view, trying to find their share, their piece of the pie, their additional stuff. And it's like we can create great wealth. If the earth dies, is it of any value? Having more money is not going to create a world in which you have something to live on and with. You've got to see how this planet is valuable enough you want to contribute to it. We should be stewards of the earth, not users of the earth. And we've done too many things that make us users of the earth without being stewards of the earth. What would it be like if we saw that? If we all looked at, if we take care of the earth, how will it take care of us? Because that's where real contribution comes in. It's like you got a question, which creates awareness. You got choices, which create possibilities. The possibilities create what the earth can contribute to you. The possibilities you choose creates that. If you're willing to have that, then you are a steward of the earth, but you are also a contributor to the earth, and you are also contributed to by the earth. The earth doesn't want to destroy you. It doesn't want to kick you off. But are you kicking it out of existence if you just use it? We need to have a different point of view.
Maybe there's 4 questions. What can I be or do that can generate a sustainable future? What can I be or do to create no damage? What can I be or do that will maximise possibilities, not just revenue? What can I be or do to be a benevolent leader?